Julian Sayin, I really believe is going to be your starter for Ohio State. But my prediction, with it being Prediction Tuesday on this show, prediction is that Julian Sayin not just starts for Ohio State. That's boring. We've already said that before. Y'all, Julian Sayin is going to lead the Big Ten in passing. Let that sizzle. Let it sit for a second. While you're doing that, one, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. College football, nothing but college football all year round. Buckeye fans, y'all been locking in with us. We're glad to have y'all here. Welcome home. Big virtual hug of sorts. So subscribe to the channel. Also follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at JD PicKell. Let me know your big prediction here for the 2025 college football season. Heck, if you even agree with this one. Now, listen, we feel very strongly about this. The reason being, trends aren't everything, right? But there's something. Since 2018, Ohio State has led the Big Ten, or an Ohio State quarterback has led the Big Ten in passing every single year but one. That was 2023 when Kyle McCord finished second in the conference. And everyone was saying how bad Kyle McCord was. That guy sucks. He's not an Ohio State brand quarterback. The next year, Honda McCord, as they called him, went and led all of college football in passing. So Ohio State, one, there's a trend there. Two, I think what this really more specifically points to me is like Ryan Day just gets good quarterbacks, dude. It's not really novel analysis. There's not really any deep dive there. Ryan Day and Ohio State, they get good quarterbacks, and they go ahead and they maximize them. How do they maximize them? The Brian Hartline of it all. Cato and I talk about that a lot. We use that almost as like an overarching label, the Ryan Day of it all, the Brian Hartline of it all, just kind of the all-encompassing umbrella term that you can put to any given situation or point. And it's not necessarily a super specific way to describe it, but you get what I'm getting at, right? It all makes sense. The Brian Hartline of it all is the fact that, one, the receiving core that he has acquired for Ohio State is second to none. That's not really, I don't think, up for debate. Take Jeremiah Smith out of that discussion for a second. And Ohio State still has 4 wide receivers that out of high school were top 10 at the position. Put the cherry on top there, you got Max Clare, tight end from Purdue, transferring in, who had the most receiving yards for a tight end last year in the Big Ten by a player not named Tyler Warren. So he's going to have some guys to throw to, okay? So they go ahead and fill in that blank. The second part of the Brian Hartline of it all is the fact that he's calling the plays. What do you think whenever a former offensive lineman or a former offensive line coach gets past the keys to call the plays for a football team? What do you immediately think? Y'all, they're going to pound the freaking rock. Run the heck out of that thing, man. Battering ram. 34 wham every single down. Let's roll. Well, Brian Hartline is a former wide receiver coach. What do you think the offense is maybe going to lean towards? What's going to be the personality of this offense? I think they're going to throw the heck out of it. I think that's pretty fair, I think, for us to have that assumption right now. Because last year, as good as Jeremiah Smith was and as great as he finished the season, Ohio State was like 89th in the country when it came to passes per game. They didn't really air it out. When did they start airing it out? Playoff run. That was when they started to put the ball in the air a little bit more. Why was that? Because I think that everybody realized, they had it illuminated to them that they have the best receiving core. They need to make sure they are a factor every single week, every single game. They have to lean on that edge. And so the personality of what I just said, Brian Hartline, he's going to make sure they feed their receivers. But two, with what you lost last year, no more Henderson, no more Judkins. As good as I think James Peoples going to be, as good as I think C.J. Johnson's going to be in that backfield for them, the strength of this team is their wide receiving core. And so for Julian Sayin and his talent and all that we've talked about ad nauseum, he's going to have guys to deliver the football to, and they're going to make it a point to deliver the football to them consistently. So I feel the obligation to say this every time we talk about Julian Sayin, because I think it's being wildly under-talked about. The way that guy is wired competitively, the fact to go pick Ohio State after transferring out of Alabama when Nick Saban retired, tells me everything I need to know about the guy when it comes to his desire to compete. And having a desire to compete isn't necessarily, a differentiating factor for you in college football, but I tell you what, it's increasingly becoming that way. Having someone who wants to go develop and get better and choose the hard thing, Julian Sayin, having that be his path to Ohio State, just makes me like the guy. On top of the fact that he's a 5-star talent, was graded the most accurate passer in his cycle that included DJ Lagway. I'm riding with Julian Sayin from a talent perspective. But the trend, the Brian Hartline effect, the receiving core, the personality, all that, Julian Sayin will lead the Big Ten in passing in 2025. So if that's the case now, Ohio State, surprise, surprise, once again in very much so contention to repeat as national champions and a chance to go get a Big Ten championship here for Ryan Day in 2025. But Julian Sayin, the rich stay rich. They'll have a dude at quarterback in Columbus.